my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
They're here.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
It's showtime.
Right, welcome everybody to another episode of the VHS Strikes Back. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to the VHS Strikes Back, the show where we dust off the old video player and go on a nostalgic journey to look at the good and the bad movies of yesteryear. Now, Chris, what are we going to review this week?
Well, Dave, it's our last movie of 2025, the year of the stitch-up. It's your pick, and you decided to take us back to 1987, a British horror movie, which stars nobody that I know other than one guy who was in the bill, Mark Powley. But Dave, this one is called Bloody New Year. And for anybody listening, it is readily available on YouTube. Let's say no more. David, over to you. When did you first see this movie?
Well, I must admit, I didn't see this at the time. I feel like I've heard of it. And in my head canon, I was thinking, oh, this is some sort of, driller killer type real video nasty that, has been out there, but, is on the edge of being horror. And yeah, it's not that, is it? But so I had heard of it, but then never actually gone back to watch it. But I just knew coming into this to go out with a bang. We are on New Year's Eve as this comes out on general release now. And so I thought I've got to go for some kind of New Year theme. And the fact that we're going out of the year of the stitch up, we started off with gore, that classic sword and sorcery movie to start off the year of the stitch up. And I thought I'd finish off with a bang or a bit of a party, Chris. So yeah, I again, it's I don't know what more to say other than, what about yourself?
Not a lot about myself on this one, Dave. You know what? To be fair, there's a few bits that I've seen somehow in the past. Like whether it's one of these, I forget, like a Talking Heads Channel 4 greatest or worst horror movies, UK, whatever it is. There is a few bits, and I know I'm going to probably keep referencing, but Mark, I think it's Powley, who was in the bill, Dave, which I remember him from. He's been in the bill, he's been in EastEnders, Corrie, Emmerdale. So I knew him straight away. When I said to you, watch the trailer, I was like, I know that guy. That's where he's from. He's more of a TV actor. So I was thinking, right, well, what's it going to be about? What's it about? So I had no idea, no backstory to this. I knew it was a horror movie. And when we saw the trailer, I was like, oh, Dave, you are going out with a bang. But again, I've never heard of it. So it's not like one where, you hear a horror movies, you're like, oh, I'm not watching it. It's awful. You hear the rumors. This isn't one that I think was in anyone in my circle of friends would even said. Like, we all knew all the American stuff, and you get the odd UK horror movie that was like legendary as kids, but this, never heard of it. And also quite interesting because it was filmed, Dave, near Gavin and Stacey in Barry Island. Barry Island. So yeah, I've got plenty to talk about on this day, but no backstory. But I do want to say to everyone, it's been a great year of movies, hasn't it? The year of the stitch-up. Some have worked really well, and some haven't, and they've had like the reverse effect. There's a few that we've both gone, I really enjoyed that one. I think there were stitch-ups, but I think with this is the perfect fodder for the end of the year. But thank you everyone for supporting us both. Like you say, this is going to come out New Year's Eve. It's been a great year, and I've loved it. I absolutely loved it. Some of the films, I just don't know next year, Pleasure and Pain. I don't know where we're going to go with that. It does feel like a sort of Chris Phelps put the key in the door type afternoon, Dave, but we'll see. We'll see.
I just can't not think of Hellraiser, unfortunately, but hopefully we're not going to have a year of Hellraiser sequels. But yeah, it has been an absolutely amazing year, and yeah, seen some absolute shockers, to be honest. But yeah, some of them I've enjoyed. I mean, for me, I think Champagne and Bullets absolutely stands out in recent memory.
Yeah. Malibu Express as well was another one. Late in the year. Some great movies, honestly. Absolutely.
Yeah, but Chris, should we get into our trailer?
Let's do it.
This new year, a group of teenagers go to a seaside fun fair, because that's always a sensible decision in British horror.
Yes, closed amusement park, no staff, word vibes. What possibly could go wrong?
They came for fun. They stayed for time travel, killer toys, and unexplained military flashbacks.
It's like Doctor Who had a breakdown in a Witherspoons. Now, let's be honest, Dave, I fucking hate Doctor Who. Sorry, John Hammond, I fucking hate it. Why you put that in there, I don't know. But anyway.
Welcome to an island where time stands still. The arcade machines are alive, and nobody reacts normally to anything.
Let Caesar go sailor and just goes, huh? That's a bit odd. British understatement will be the death of us, and I've had a bad throat all week, and why am I doing this fucking stupid voice? Oh yeah!
We'll finish on the back, Joe, Dave.
There are gremlins, there are Nazis, there are soldiers. There is a wind-up monkey with murder in its heart.
And not once does anyone suggest leaving. They just wander deeper to the madness like it's a sponsored walk. Oh my god.
Is it a haunted house movie? Is it a time loop thriller? Is it a kids' TV special that escaped containment?
No one knows, Dave, including the filmmakers.
And if Sam walks into the kitchen as a record, this is like, what are you doing?
Watch as characters age instantly, de-age seconds later, and stare directly at danger like they're buffering.
That's a great description, Spirit.
This isn't horror, it's confusion with jump scares.
Bloody New Year, a film that starts at midnight and never quite figures out what day it is.
The ultimate stitch-up. You think you're watching one movie, and halfway through it swaps itself for another.
Toys, time loops, trauma.
I've got fucking Difflam spray here. Why have I done these voices? I've had a really bad cold for days. Idiot.
And most of the most aggressive misunderstandings of pacing ever put on VHS.
This year, celebrate New Year's Eve the British way.
Cool, confused, and quietly regretting your choices in life. Oh, yeah!
In 1959, a group of partygoers celebrate New Year's Eve at the Grand Island Hotel before mysteriously vanishing. Decades later, a group of teenagers, yeah right, couples Leslie and Tom and Janet and Rick with their friend Spud are spending the day at the Seaside Fun Fair when they see a trio of hooligans, Dad, Ace and the Bear, terrorizing an American tourist named Carol. They rescue Carol and escape the thugs by taking a boat out to sea. Just read it. It's fucking terrible, isn't it? Only to run aground and end up stranded on Grand Island. They stumble across the hotel, which appears deserted. The lobby is adorned with Christmas decorations, despite the fact that it is in July. Now, Chris, what do you reckon to the opening of this movie?
Well, Dave, well. You've picked a movie. It doesn't feel unfamiliar. I don't know why, because I've never seen this movie. I've never would put this on. But the start of the fair, oh my God. The fucking woman, she's on the waltzers there. These fucking weird fucking gypsy fairground guys, fucking Bear, Ace and his fucking dad, are spinning her and she's going, help me, help. I'm thinking, how the fuck can you hear that? The waltzers are one of the loudest rides at the fair. There's usually music booming. And for some reason, she can't get up when the ride stops and they're just spinning her. And I couldn't work out the logic to why that was like a plot device. And obviously, you know, Mark and his mate go over there and have a bit of a scrap with him to rescue her. But then she's like this, I don't know why I've even come here. I was wasting time waiting for my friends. And I'm like, fuck off, you know. So I did think, Dave, it was turning to a sinister RTL type movie. When they were spinning around and there was almost a bit of cleavage popping there, I was thinking, I don't know what's going on here. What have you done here, Dave? Is this like some sort of fucking snuff movie? Are we getting, you know, I honestly don't know what I was going to watch. I didn't know. I'm genuinely thinking this is a bit weird. Are they going to like try and attack her or something? But then we get an almost like Grease fucking type fight, don't we? Where they're running round and they get cornered. But then the girls turn up in the fucking Land Rover with a boat on the back in the middle of the fair. And I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand. Are they? Because it wasn't explained that the Range Rover and the boat, even though we'd seen it alone, were the goodies or the baddies. That bit should not have been in that bit of the movie. It was so bizarre. I couldn't work out. And then they end up in the fucking ghost train. Fucking hell. It's the fucking shocker, this, Dave. Really is a shocker. Real.
Now, what I would say is, this might be one of the cheapest made films we've ever done. So £60,000 this cost. Now, even in 1987, that's pretty much nothing. And I think they've done a decent job here of making it look like more than what the budget is. At least 65 grand, I would say. But I kind of enjoy the opening in that, it just takes you back and you're sort of watching it and you're like, God, when you were a kid, like if I was at this fun fair in 1987, it would have felt amazing. You're going round and you got all this music blaring, all these interesting rides and stuff. And I seem to remember, I don't think I've ever been to this fun fair, but I've been to ones very similar. Maybe it was Southport or something like that. And the little worm that goes around in a fucking 3-meter circle.
Yeah. Oh, there's a bump. Yeah.
There's a tiny little bump there. And I was watching it and I was like, these fun fairs were shit, weren't they? I mean, as a kid, they seemed amazing, but, you're watching it and it's just terrible. And like you say, when they're spinning around the girl, you're like, and no one's doing anything. And then you've got that Nick Kershaw looking guy. I can't remember which one he is.
Camp as anything.
Yeah,
but he's camp as anything.
He's really weird, isn't he? Because you've got Spud and
Rick.
It's Leslie, isn't it? Who's the girl sort of laying down sunbathing, but they're both like lathering on the cream on her. It's all a bit uncomfortable, and like, what's going on here? Because he's a right creep, and so he's the one. Even when they're spinning the girl around. It takes him ages to do something. And then they start running alongside, like trying to catch up. And I'm like, hang about, mate. I've seen this ride before. Just run round the other way. You'll get there much quicker. And then, Spud nabs a fuse or something, doesn't he? And so that becomes the whole... I mean, at the start, it's almost like, Biker Grove or Grange Hill or something like that, isn't it? Where, you've got these basically hooligans or thugs or something who will tear you to pieces, but, will play around and, throw around this fuse, and one of them gets smacked in the face by a flying Dumbo or something like that, doesn't it?
Oh, that's ridiculous.
But when, they're right in the middle of a fun fair and then they start driving off with the boat, I'm like, well, how the fuck did they get there in the fun fair then?
Just drove it through and we see it before the escape. And I was the same as you. I was like, I don't understand that. And then they're like laughing, aren't they? But then you see the three, Dad, Ace, and fucking Bear, whatever he's called, sort of like as if say, I'll get you next time, Gadget. And I'm like, well, they're obviously going to come back at some point. But then the next scene, you think they would be, if that was me and you've had that running, right? I'm not being funny. If you go kicking like that, you would be at least 50, 60 miles away, wouldn't you, from where that's happened? No, they're not. They're probably a few miles away. They're now in a fucking boat, Dave, which is
I'm going to ditch the car. We're going to take a boat out.
All of us in a little fucking rowing boat. And they're talking as if like they're miles out. Well, then they hit a bit of a rock and end up... As I was laughing at this because Rick character, the guy on the bill, he's talking and he's like, they're going, oh my God, we're going to die. We're going to drown. And he's like, no, we're not. We're just going to, we might submerge or whatever he says. But then when you look... They jump out the boat and
start paddling.
Yeah, they're all stood up though. This woman goes, I can't swim, but you see her jump out the boat and stand in the water like it's about 4 foot deep. I'm like, come on. Does he thinking of you going, fuck off, Dave? It's just nonsense. And then they've moored up at this fucking island from nowhere. We haven't seen the island in any of the shots on the boat saying anything, have they? But they literally just walk up to the island and they're there at this like Butlins thing. But I've got to say, I think he does a good picture. A good description of this on YouTube, right? I don't want anybody would even be bothered in this. But I went down a rabbit hole a couple of months ago, Dave. I don't know how this came about. It was on a show we were watching about Benidorm. There's a BBC. I think I sent it you. I think I sent it you. It's a BBC travel show of Benidorm, and there's a fucking bloke there with emu. He's about 60, proper fucking check his hard drive, even though it probably wasn't a hard drive at that point. He's touching up all the women, even some of the men. He's with his missus. He even goes in the room. It's a genuine BBC documentary about Benidorm. People got Benidorm, and this couple are one of the couples. And he's lay on the bed with his fucking emu, and obviously it's his way of just basically fucking groping people for free because he's hiding. And I sent it you, and you were like, "What?" The only couple of like, what the fuck? But it reminds me a bit of that. I know it sounds silly, but it reminds me of that, like, it almost feels like a documentary. So you're right, we've got this sort of Biker Grove, fucking Grease type, oh my God, they're going to beat us up thing, and the fight scenes are terrible. And we've had a few little things moving, like the woman who's doing the fucking tarot reading or whatever she is, fucking Mystic Meg. Yeah. She does like for no reason. The American girl's in there with her, but the English girl, sorry, who's with Rick, and then she does this like witch cackle, doesn't she? Like, oh God, what's going on here? But as soon as they get on the island, there is some good practical effects. I've got to give them that, because there is a few things where things are moving and in mirror stuff. So for 60 grand, I didn't know it was that. Now you've said that, I am giving it, cutting it a bit more slack. But yeah, fucking hell, it is a terrible movie, Dave. But I think that's that. You telling me that it was 60 grand, and it looked like it was 60 grand. That, you know what I mean? They worked well with what they had, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think all of the special effects are great, but, given the budget, there are little practical things like even right at the start, like you say, they're walking about the hotel. It's in the middle of July, but they've got all their Christmas decorations up. They're getting ready for New Year, clearly, and it's all a bit odd. And then they go into one of the rooms, and it looks like someone, some kind of ghostly presence is sitting on the bed. And the way it pulls down, like, I'm saying it pulls down, I'm assuming that's how they did the effects. But it looked quite good. It looked quite convincing. It also reminded me, and I haven't gone back to watch like Tales of Suspense or something like that, not Tales of Suspense, that's the comic, Tales of the Unexpected.
Yes.
Something like that, where it's all just a bit weird. And it is Janet. So Janet gets on the proper 50s dress, and then you've got the woman who looks like she's got the whole 50s beehive kind of thing behind her. Or I guess, didn't beehives come in the 60s, actually? Whatever, it's a 59 do. And you can see her in the mirror. And I think that always gets me. Like, every time, it doesn't matter, even if it's a crap movie, not done well, someone's looking in the mirror and then someone else appears there, I'm shitting it.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So, yeah, I mean, I kind of enjoy the way, like I say, having that meta awareness of the fact, it was made on a shoestring. And I don't know if you've seen the VHS cover. So it came out, it had a theatrical release in the UK, straight to video in the US. But it looks like the guy who did the Scotch tapes, the skeleton guy who advertised Scotch tapes is moonlighting on the cover of this one, Bloody New Year. But yeah, I think it's good in that it builds the tension. I mean, it's probably about 35 minutes before they even get to the Grand Island Hotel. And then it doesn't really, it's more creepy, isn't it? More suggestive things. Nothing really becomes that scary for a while until you get, I mean, the guy fucking, I'm saying Nick Kershaw. What was Nick Berry? It looks more like Nick Berry, I think, from EastEnders. And he gets up, they're in this little private cinema, and they're watching some kind of old black and white footage. and then the guy just jumps out of the the film and scratches him, and that's enough to kill him. Apparently, that's when it starts getting, something's going on here. It's like a haunted hotel. So yeah, I think it did take a while to get there, though.
We need to talk about this. So you're right. So what I've got to say is, when they all get there, they're all soaking wet, aren't they? So you're right. It's creepiness. They all go off and splinter off, don't they? But there's the guy who's got the blonde hair. He just looks like an average Joe, and his girlfriend. And she's absolutely thirsty for it, isn't she? She's like,
and he's like,
no. Yeah, I'm like, come on, mate. She's like, have you ever done it on a snooker table? I mean, he's about fucking 5'4", so there's no way he'd be doing anything other than have to jump on top of it. But then she gets him in like the little room, and she has another go at him, and he's like, oh no, we can't. And then he has a dig about Rick, the guy at the bill, because he's the good looking one. But then everyone else is the same. You've got Julian with the American girl, you've got the Rick and his missus Leslie. They go and have a fucking bath and all that stuff, and then for some reason the shower head just goes in the bath, and I'm thinking, well, I've seen these sort of movies before. What are we doing here? And that doesn't really do anything. But
it doesn't. Nothing comes of that, does it?
No, nothing. And I'm thinking, oh, fair enough. Yeah. I'm thinking, oh, fair enough. I'm invested in this now. But it's the bits for me that get me is when the playing snooker and the effects of the ball goes back. The snooker table resets itself. You've got the nurse, the fucking woman who comes through, works there, who's like the cleaner, and she's like helping the woman get changed and all that. But it's the bit. What was the bit I was about to say? I've got off on a tangent because there's so much to talk about in this movie. But there's a bit where when they're in the hotel, and oh my god. Oh, that's it. Yeah, sorry. You've said it. Julian gets killed. The guy who looks like Wixie off EastEnders. Scratches his face. There's no other marks on him, but he's dead, right? Dave, now this is one of your friends. You've just survived a load of, travelers wanting to kick the shit out of you on a fair. You've just got with this American girl. You've just ended up at this weird fucking house, and he's been killed. Nobody's fucking asked when he's dead. They're like, oh, he's dead. Next minute, Rick and Leslie are just walking through the fucking forest chatting as if like Julian was a bad guy or he was the baddie. And they're like, nobody's like, we need to contact the police or the ambulance service. We need to get off this island. One of our friends is dead. You would be absolutely distraught. Don't give a fuck. All of them, they just carry on like it's not. Just leave his dead body on the fucking floor. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? You incompassionate bastards. I hope you do get killed. You've just left poor fucking Wixie there after he's just about to go into heartbeat. He's just left these tenders and he's dead. It's fucking nonsense, Dave. Honestly, that bit is so blasé that their closest friend has just died. And it was just like, oh, well, unlucky. Yeah, at least it's not me. Honestly, that is so off, that bit. It's just unreal. Everyone is just like, forget about it. Don't worry about it. These things happen. We all die eventually. So weird.
I mean, I think the character's name is Tom. So Julian Ronnie is the actor.
Oh yeah,
I don't think many of them have. I don't think many of them have done much. I mean, so Susie Atkinson or Aitchison plays Leslie. So she's the one who's basically thirsty for Spud. And he's having none of it, which is weird because they're like boyfriend and girlfriend, but it's almost played like a carry-on. Like, she's so suggestive. She's almost like Barbara Windsor.
Yes. Yeah.
So she's been in a bunch of stuff, but like, I'm talking Casualty, Grange Hill, not actual movies and stuff. She's been in Goodnight Sweetheart. She's been in the Russ Abbott Show. So, that kind of staple of background actor in the TV, or British TV rather. But yeah, it's fucking great. Great, wonderfully quite terrible. But again, I think that there's certain things that look better. I mean, but certain things go nowhere. Because like you said, when the shower head goes into the bath, I'm thinking, I've seen this on Freddy Krueger sort of thing. But then nothing happens of it. The jump scare comes from when her boyfriend, Rick, when Rick comes in, that's the jump scare. And nothing happens with the shower head. And then at the reception, you have this little Santa Claus guy, ringing the bell, like this little wind-up toy.
Yeah.
But then nothing happens with it. So I don't know if it's one of those where, there's probably a director's cut. I'm pretty sure there's not, but they might have filmed loads more scenes and then just edited it all out where, maybe something happened with that, or I don't know, maybe that was the tales of the unexpected type of build-up of tension. But yeah, I thought something would happen with that. And then you've got, I must admit, Chris, I watched this twice because I kind of feel like I got to the end of it the first time and just didn't really still understand what it was about. But watching it through the second time, you realise you've got the TV and you've got the guys talking it, in black and white, getting quite passionate in this debate about, time travel, and you've got this this plane flying over at New Year's Eve, and so they're going to be messing with time travel is the risk to it all, and so it's this weird mashup. Like I say, it's almost Doctor Who. You got this weird mashup of horror, sci-fi, and just British TV.
Yeah, and you know what though, Dave? To give it, and I agree, because maybe that's why I feel so familiar, because it's sort of nonsense you come across as a kid. But I tell you what, bit I thought was very good is the band. So when Tom goes through and he's looking around and he's looking for the American girl, and the band are on and they're playing, aren't they? And they're singing and everything. Then two guys are singing, and he goes in the room and it's flicking backwards and forwards. I think that's pretty good effect. That was proper creepy. That was like really creepy. I honestly thought that was really good, if I'm being honest. I did, honestly. I thought that was really put together. I thought that was one of the standout, probably where all the budget went, but that was one of the standout bits of the movie for me, because it really was creepy.
It was creepy, and I think you had the band playing. I think what they kept doing is they kept flicking between, the band, the two guys, bit of a wham, or, Butlin's wham take off or something, and then they'd flick back to him, and he had like the strobe light on him, didn't they? And I think that was what gave it that really creepy effect. But what I'd say as well is, I can't figure out how long they're supposed to have been there, because it seems to go between night and day quite a lot.
Yes, it does.
Because when he's watching the band, you get the door open and it's very clearly nighttime, and it's like, but later on it's daytime again. So I don't think this is all over one night. Again, maybe I have to watch it a third time, but it seemed to go from day and night. And again, when they've just shot a bunch of scenes, they probably put it together in the best way they can. But they never have to forage for food or anything. So you never see him eating or drinking.
No, and you're right. And even the lighting, I mean, he gets it on, doesn't he? That guy puts the electrics on. But even then, it's not explained. I agree with you. That was the one thing I wasn't sure of. Is this done over 12 hours? Is it a few days? Because it's weird how they settle in really well. But then the next minute, there's like a load of jeopardy. And they're like, oh my God, we need to get away from here. Because obviously, the only ones really who are trying to get away are Leslie and Rick. They're the ones who end up in the sort of forest with like the people all laughing and joking, like they're having like a bit of a party, and the camera, I mean, that camera bit happens the same time 3 times. It goes at them both. They both separate.
It's like music video, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's 3 times, so it's exactly the same scene. It's not like they've shot it from another angle and reused some of the assets. It's exactly the same scene 3 times. Like these voices are getting closer to him, and he's split out the way. It was weird, but I think as it goes on, and we get people we get them taken out, don't we? I mean, initially, the gypsies then find him, don't they? Bear or the dad, whoever it is. I mean, they don't even speak, which is weird. And then it's when that guy's head just starts getting his head spun by the ghost or whatever she is, the woman. And the turn in his head, he would have been dead on the first one, but he's still reacting like he's alive. He's like, oh, and I'm like, no, I think you're dead. We've now coiled your head round about 5 times now. You're dead. And he's still like acting in it. But then they start picking off the group, don't they, one by one, like the members of the group. And I think, honestly, I don't hate the movie at all. I didn't hate the movie. I genuinely thought I would. I was more laughing at some of the stupidness of it. But also, appreciating like the fact that and it's weird, I didn't research this until like this morning when we we're going to record, which shock horror for you, Dave, but it was a Butlins, as I said before, by the island, and it feels like a Butlins, doesn't it? The way they've shot it, it's a big old building that they're in and everything. And honestly, I think there's some good bits in this, but there's some damn awful bits as well, and the continuity is all over the place as well. So I think you've done a good job on this one, but I think like you're hoping that somebody's going to escape and get away, don't you? Because ultimately, Leslie ends up taking one for the team, doesn't she? And it's Janet who's still alive. She's the American girl. She ends up with Rick, doesn't she, trying to escape? But Leslie sort of... There's not this weird quicksand thing that keeps happening. They just keep getting stuck wherever they go.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Is Janet the... I don't think she is the American.
No.
I think, yeah, it's difficult to tell, isn't it? Because hardly any of them have done anything else. But I think Janet is the one in like the pink sort of dress with Rick.
Ah, right, okay.
So I'm not sure which one is the...
Isn't she the one at the end, though, who he leaves and he ends up with the American, then comes back, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He gets caught. Yeah. That's why she's his girlfriend. But yeah, I'm with you, Dave. I don't know who's who, to be honest, of the women. That's not being disrespectful. It's just, it's not explained very well. I don't think they dialogue. They don't speak to each other. Rick gets mentioned a lot, doesn't it? As a character's name, so you know who he is, Rick, and everything. He's like the hero as such, but all the others are sort of almost background characters in some respects.
Well, I do remember Leslie. So again, because she's done probably the most in all these different, the Bill and different TV shows and whatever. And she's one of the first to go, isn't she? Because she gets taken down by this fishnet. No, I must admit that I don't know how I feel about that, because when the camera's panned away, it just looks ridiculous because there's no movement in the net whatsoever, and it just looks like she's sort of writhing around, trapped in a net like a fish. But then when it zooms in, you can see there's little hooks in the net that are hooking into her. And I thought that effect was quite good. It's just like I say, they should have done more of that and less of the panned out stuff because it sort of looked ridiculous. And then she's not feeling quite as saucy with Spud then because she's just been like hooked like a fucking mackerel or something. And then she gets up and then you get this green velvet monster just popping out of the desk. Which again, I think was possibly it was the lighting, using a lot of daylight in there. That probably wasn't the best effect that they could have used. I'm sure they could have done something else there, maybe dimmed down the lights or something. But yeah, Spud sort of gets this harpoon and he's trying to kill it off, isn't it? But what I notice is, there's a lot of hauntings, but there's no real rhyme or reason to the ghosts. Like you've got one effect where there's a guy jumping out of the cinema, the cinema screen, and then you've got, like say, this velvet green monster popping out the desk. Then you've got this moving fishnet that kind of hooks her, and then weirdly Spud just gets possessed like the Exorcist later on.
Yeah, there's no reason for that, is there? It's not like it's happened to anyone. Everyone else has been killed, but he, for some reasons, he's got Thingy's voice. Is it Gozer's voice out of Ghostbusters? He's like, Rawr. He just changes, doesn't he? She's like rubbing his face, and the next minute he's like, no, and it's like that makes no fucking. And then the elevator bit. Yeah. The elevator bit comes, doesn't it? Oh my! He chops his hand off on the elevator, which is weird because they're like poltergeists, but they still have human pain. That doesn't make any sense.
So that I didn't get that either, because it's like, well, they're ghosts, or he's possessed like a zombie, and then she sort of smacks his hand, sort of cuts his hand off a bit, and then he's trying to grab her leg, and then ends up with his arm cut off, and then he's like passed out on the floor. Then like, but if you're a ghost or you're possessed, I don't understand what's happened there.
No, that's what's. I mean, look, we're probably overthinking it for a $60,000 budget, Dave. We were definitely overthinking it, but yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And I think even like Rick and that, when he's trying to sort of, they end up in the ballroom, don't they?
Yeah,
and that woman who's the zombie, she's supposed to be Leslie, isn't it?
Yeah,
Leslie. Yeah. And that's when it's revealed that you're in a time warp, which makes sense because there's that plane as well into the aircraft, which Cavalry was carrying a cloak.
You say they're in a time warp, and then the pool table slides towards them. All they needed to do was a little jump to the left.
You mean a jump to the right, Dave?
And then put your hands on your hips.
You do the pelvic thrust. You got me then. I thought, what have I done here? I've fucking missed some out of it. You're going to say, what?
I just couldn't miss the reference.
You had to. I mean, to be fair, from the start, it was obvious they were in like a, and when that like maid was coming in and out once, and they were like phasing her in and out and stuff, and you knew you were in this weird, like almost like a parallel universe where you were just trapped. I must admit though, Dave, as it gets to the end, I was expecting Rick to get away at least with Janet. I think it's Janet he was trying to get away with. Is it? Carol, is it? Or whoever it is.
I think so. Yeah,
it's Carol. Sorry. And they're trying to get away, and obviously they get to the boat. Which, to be honest, the boat was about 100 yards away from the house, but they're making it out like they've had to run across, let's say, like Jurassic Park's island or something, get like 30 miles across just to get the boat. The boat's there. And then, obviously, Leslie's the one in. She's like going, Rick, you can't leave or whatever she's fucking saying and all that. And then Janet, sorry, I get all the names wrong, Dave, fucking but she's there waving, and then she moves, and I'm like, you're a dick. You're an absolute dick. And I honestly thought they were going to get away. And the next minute, he's in quicksand. And then the zombie fucking
dad from the fair, we don't see it on camera, but he pretty much chops his head off because he's up to his head. And then she ends up sinking. And then we've got a fucking Heidi High, let's all do the conga. They're all alive, stuck in this fucking thing again, this island, and it goes off. It's fucking weird, the end. But I understand him. I wasn't expecting every one of them to get killed. I thought one of them would fucking survive, and they didn't. Yeah, I think it makes it more memorable that they don't. I mean, especially when Rick runs back, and I have to mention as well, when Janet went out, because she was in the elevator or the lift, and obviously zombie Spud, who's passed out on the floor, and then you see behind, someone's in this massive latex balloon that they've clearly painted blue, because all the paint starts to just sort of separate as they move the hands out. But actually, when Rick sort of goes in, I think the effect is pretty good because and the sound effects to it as well as she gets pulled into the wall. I thought that was pretty good. And so obviously when, for all the things that Rick's seen, you talk about not reflecting your actual environment. She's like, don't leave me, Rick. Don't leave me. And he's like, Janet. And he's running backwards. He's like, oh, you fucking dick. But then, like you say, he gets taken out by the strimmer. And you're expecting Carol to still get away at that point, aren't you? She's off the island, so, happy days, or she's at least the one survivor. But then again, in terms of just things thrown together that don't really make any sense, while everyone else is doing the conga, and then I sort of think, well, okay, but you've suffered a gruesome death. But it seems like, for eternity now, you're going to have a New Year's Eve party. It doesn't sound terrible, but Carol, for some reason, is on the other side of the mirror, just looking into it. So everyone else is having a lovely time, and she's stuck in eternity, behind this mirror for some reason.
It's bizarre. Because, again, like we said about Spud and that becoming like this possessed poltergeist, don't make any sense, does it really? There's no baddies. They're just throwing any old shit at the wall at this point. But I've got to say, Dave, I did not expect for 1 hour 25 that I would sort of enjoy it. And I did for all the wrong reasons. And also some bits that I did, as I say, some of the effects are pretty good. And I think there is stuff about it that I can understand why people enjoy it as well. Because he's got a proper cult following, hasn't it? This, I can clearly see that. But yeah, he did set it up for a sequel, I suppose, by them all surviving. But obviously, that never happened, Dave.
No, definitely not. Well, Chris, should we get into our final review?
Let's go. Final review of 2025, Dave.
Yeah.
So, I can't thank anybody, Dave. I'm not thanking you because you've picked this movie. It's absolutely atrocious, but also somewhat enjoyable. I totally get it. If you're a horror fan, I think you probably need to watch this. It's so silly, all over the place. I think if you're from the UK as well, it'll probably really sit with you, like how bad the UK TV was in the 80s at certain points, and there's loads of cliches there. Yeah, it's just a really, really strange horror movie, but a total respect for the budget they've had it on. That is absolutely brilliant. It's £60,000, which I was just reading, it equates to about 220 grand now. You couldn't even you couldn't even do anything for 220 grand now, Dave, for a movie. Exactly, you have to use your bleeding phone on a gimbal or something to make a movie with it. But anyway, I'm going to send it to Elm Street, Dave. It's not the worst movie ever. It is a bit of a stitch-up, but one that I sort of enjoyed in certain parts and feels very familiar. And it's all over the place. It's proper schizophrenic, what's going on, and just so stupid. But yeah, you've picked, not a classic, but you've picked one that I'm definitely going to be thinking about. I'm not watching it again, Dave, but I'll definitely be thinking about this one. So
sure?
yeah, no,
maybe next New Year, you might want to stick it on there, but no, I don't think you would. But you know what? I can't believe the amount of, let's say, lower rated movies that you've covered this year and not actually sent to the bottom. I mean, this one's 4.5 on IMDb. So, I always say like 5 is the anchor. I think, what was it? What was the one with Ron Howard?
Eat My Dust.
Eat My Dust, yeah. I mean, even that was something like 5.6. So the old Roger Corman one. So yeah, 4.5. That really getting quite low there. But yeah, I think especially knowing the budget, I think they've done well for it. And yeah, especially I think if you're a Gen Xer or something like that, and you want to think back to when Fairgrounds were not necessarily in their heyday, but definitely it will give you the memories of how things really were. I just think it is quite fun now. I don't think it's any higher than an Elm Street either. I'm not going to go that far, but there are definitely some interesting moments. I do think they threw lots at the wall to see what would stick. There's no real rhyme or reason. They try and go this whole sci-fi route. It's a bit, reminds me a bit of the Philadelphia Experiment as well. I think, again, just in the 80s, there was a lot of Cold War stuff, and sci-fi that came out of that Cold War. And so, this for me, they've tried to go with that angle to explain why they're stuck in this weird time loop in 1959. But I don't know if it needed that. I don't think it was necessarily a good mashup in the way something like Event Horizon was, that mashed, obviously a massively different budget, but throwing in sci-fi and horror. But yeah, I think thoroughly enjoyable. I can't rule out that I will or won't watch this one again. I could see myself watching this again just because it's so silly and so many of the different possessions and murders and stuff are so different. So yeah, I'm glad I picked this one to see out the year of the stitch up.
No, honestly, mate, thanks. And thanks again for another great year. I do appreciate all you do for this podcast, Dave. You are the glue that keeps it all together. I just turn up and do stupid, pathetic macho man voices, but I love it. I do appreciate it, mate.
I'm surprised your voice has recovered, but no, it's been amazing, yeah.
It's been a great year, so thank you, mate, to you personally as well. And thanks to everyone, as always, for all your support. We do appreciate it. And we'd love it if we've got all our patrons over there on Discord, and we have such fun on there, don't we? Everyone's just taking the piss, Dave, and like talking about the movies and just great stories as well. It's a really nice community that we put together. You know what I mean? And that was like your brainchild to put it on Discord, Dave, with the and I love it. I love that. It's so good. It's just good fun. And I always see when there's a fucking 1 or a 2 against Discord that someone's calling me out. And it's usually something to do with my shoulder or something, Dave. I set myself up all the time. But no, honestly, thank you, all you guys as well. And everyone who listens, we do appreciate it. If you want to email us, the VHS strikes back at gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media at VHS strikes back. If you're going to support us, please get over to patreon.com/the VHS Strikes Back. And if you can't do the paid tiers, we totally understand that. You can still join Patreon, the VHS Strikes Back, as a free member, and there is stuff on there. So come over and have a look if you do want to support myself and Dave. Any support is really appreciated. Thank you so much, guys. So the roll call of honor and the last one for 2025 is big thank you to Reese, Nick, Greg, Gareth, Nick, Mike, Lee, Helen, Dylan, Dan, Justin, Susan, Tim, Matt, Hales, Kent, Lucky Green, Herbs, Jack, Math Blake, John Hammond, and Mr. Tony Farina. So thank you so much, guys, for all your support. Absolutely brilliant. Now, Dave, if you've not got a piece of musical art to take us out with, I'm going to be deeply disappointed. After my Look Who's Talking Now extravaganza last week,
Yeah.
I expect a level above that, Dave.
Old John Travolta.
Good old. Did you see that this week, by the way, before we get into the song about it's come out now, fucking weird celebrities are that John Travolta's youngest son is actually one of the Presleys. It's come out in a court document. Lisa Marie was supposed to be, and she's obviously passed away now, donating her eggs to celebs or something because of Elvis, but because she was into drugs, unfortunately, they went down the route of using Lisa Marie's daughter, and she's supposed to be the mother of John Travolta's youngest son, Dave.
Jesus Christ.
I know, and that's not a Chris Phelps, theory. I've pulled
Paul
pulled out my
McCartney
backside.
died in 1960 something.
Dave, excuse me, Dave. It's Paul McCartney, if you don't mind. There's a whole different thing on that. Let's not talk about that. But or Building 7. Let's move on. But honestly, this is something that's been all over from court documents. He's been all over the news. It's not a bullshit story. That's just someone's just pulled out their arse sort of thing. It's supposed to be these actual text message from Priscilla saying like, "Oh, I'm a great grandson and all this." Fucking Dave, it's fucking almost as bad as the newly released Epstein pictures, Dave. But we won't go into them. Let's just move on from that. So, what musical stuff have you got?
Sorry, my mind just went to this weird little Look Who's Talking with Elvis's voice on the baby. So we've gone the whole episode without once referencing Hotel California, because of course the lyrics there are "you can check out but you can never leave," and I thought, I wonder if at least part of the inspiration for this movie was Hotel California, because in the lyrics there it talks about 1969. Well, this was set in 1959 for the original New Year's party, and I thought, is that a coincidence? Is it not? But I thought, you know what, I'm going to have to go for the whole Hotel California angle, but I don't want to go full on, like trying to be the Eagles or something like that. And especially when we get to the end of the movie and everyone's doing the conga, I thought, well, wouldn't it be fun to take the kind of Hotel California lyrics, play around with those a little bit and the cadence and everything, and the rhyming, and just play around with that, but put it and give it more of a party feel. So this one is called Grand Island Hotel.
On a bleak British shoreline, cold mist in the air, faint echo of laughter drifting thin everywhere. Up ahead in the moonlight stood a glow in the night. My pulse grew heavy and my thoughts weren't right. I had to stop for the night. Then she stood in the doorway with a grin sharp as spell, and I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven or a seaside hell. Then she lifted a lantern and she showed me the way. There were whispers down the hallway. I thought I heard them say, welcome to the Grand Island Hotel. Such a haunted place, such a haunted place, such a haunted place. Plenty of doom at the Grand Island Hotel. Anytime you fear, you'll be trapped in here. Twisted, she had the time loop bends. She got a lot of itty bitty toys she calls friends. How they danced in the ballroom, go slip pirouette. Some dance to remember, some dance to forget. Please hand me a lantern, this ghost looking fine. He said we haven't had that spirit here since 1959, and still those whispers are calling from far away. Wake you up in the dead of night just to hear them say, mirrors in the hallway, the cold fog freezing twice. And she said, we are all just prisoners here of a looping slice. And in the caretaker's chamber, they gathered for the feast. They struck it with their broken lights, but they just can't stop the beast. Last thing I remember, I was running for the shore. I had to find the time loop back to the place I was before. Relax, said the fright man, we are programmed to believe you can check out anytime you'd like, but you can never leave. Welcome to the Grand Island Hotel. Such a haunted place, such a haunted place. Frozen out of space, they living it up at the Grand Island Hotel. Anytime you fear, you'll be trapped in here. Whoa, yeah, 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 yeah.
So there you go, Chris. Getting you ready for New Year's Eve when you're going out, doing the conga.
That's a good one, that, Dave.
Yeah, and so I hadn't mentioned it before as well, but all the Christmas decorations, the green wallpaper, the lights that are actually used in there, all seem so familiar as well. I'm almost convinced I've been to pubs or not specifically that pub or social club or whatever, but something like it. But yeah, enjoy that one, doing the conga. So thank you very much, sir. Thanks to all our listeners, all our supporters. Have a merry, merry New Year, or a bloody New Year, and we'll speak to you next year.
Bye.
Attention. This transmission originates from the future. I have breached the fabric of space and time, risking catastrophic damage to the space-time continuum because you forgot to announce next week's movie. A correction must be made. Next week's film has been selected by supporter and friend of the show, Susan. This behavior is normal. This behavior is encouraged. The film is better off dead. Be advised, this choice aligns with future timelines. It also foreshadows what is to come. Next year is designated the year of pain and pleasure. This film is a warning. My presence here is already destabilizing causality. I must return to the future before reality collapses. Or before someone skis off a mountain. Transmission ending. Good luck. Here is your Earth trailer.
Does it ever feel like everyone's got more going than you do? Oops. That everyone is smart.
So you're Al Myers' kid?
Yes, I am.
You look pretty stupid to me.
Thank you.
You say the best skier in town just ran off with your girlfriend? Even your younger brother does better than you do? And that nobody even cares?
Beth broke up with me.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, you might be right. But remember one thing.
I haven't even been to New York City.
Nobody was ever better off dead.
The truth is, I could outski you any day of the week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you want a race? I'll take you on any day, sucker.
Go that way, really fast. If something gets in your way, turn.
All you need is guts.
All right! Now turn!
I'm gonna race, I'm gonna lose, and I'm gonna die, in that order.
Go!
And you'll never doubt yourself again.
He's skiing on one ski!
Better off dead.
And that's a real shame when folks be throwing away a perfectly good white boy like that.
An abnormal look at a normal teenager.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
I'll be back.
That's odd.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Wax on, wax off. Get to the chopper! One ring to go. All right. Ding, ding. Bust you up. Go for it.
Well, here we go. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad.
something. I'm crazy. You just a stupid fool.
Maybe
you stupid.
I ain't breathing heavy.
He's a fool. He's stupid.
I see you in 6 months.